talking about how to extend on the polite leading and handling lesson with my partner Phantom today. We're going to go over how to properly turn out your horse in a pasture. And this is one thing that horses can get very smart to. So we're going to get right to it. And where we're standing is out in Phantom's actual pasture where she does get turned out each and every day. And I'm going to ask Phantom to walk down, past, and out of the gate and turn around so that we're facing where we'd be coming from the barn. One of the things to remember is we are going to reiterate part 1, part 2, and part 3 of polite leading and handling. I will provide the links below that go into great detail on each parts of those lessons. Basically, you want to make sure that your horse backs up and comes forward on cue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Phantom up to the gate that is open, and I'm going to ask her to walk up here to where the grass meets the dirt. Again, I want to be even with her nose, and her nose needs to be even with my shoulder. I'm then going to ask Phantom to walk through the gate, so I'm going to ask her with the go forward cue that's already been taught. And when I come to actually unclip her, I always want to look at my horse's eyes. So in other words, I don't want to be facing this direction when I'm going to unclip and unattach my horse. I see a lot of times when people walk through a gate, they tend to kind of walk beside their horse, and then all at once they let their horse go. And they're basically essentially staring at the hindquarters. So one of the things that happens when we turn out our horses, so if I were to go like this, and I were to unhook Phantom right here, I'm facing a bad spot, because she's going to get out here to her pasture, and she's going to end up doing what horses do, which is run away, buck kick, rear, have fun, play. So I want to make sure that I always instill good habits in my horse. That way, I'm always staying safe as the handler. That's so super important. The other thing that I see that's a common mistake is a lot of people don't use a lead rope. Some people just kind of walk along and they wrap their fingers or their hand around the halter. Not a good idea, because most of the time when a horse gets out to the pasture, the first thing they're thinking of is run, play, let's have some fun. And a lot of times people can't get their hand out of the halter in time. They end up with rope burn or broken fingers. Just not a good practice to have. I always like to instill my horse and make sure that they have one of my clip halters on and one of my 6-foot leads that are really easy for me to lead in and lead out. And that way it ensures that I stay safe. The other thing that horses get really keen to is this noise. I've had horses that have come in for training that the second that they hear that clip, the horse is halfway running away with the owner still attached to them. So oftentimes what I'll do is I will just play with that noise, and then I'll go ahead and unhook my horse so that they learn that that clipping sound doesn't really mean that they're loose. So if you have a horse that has that issue, make sure that you go through the clipping exercise. Always make sure that you're not wrapped around with your lead rope. Don't have it wrapped around your hands, your fingers, your wrists, your arms. Make sure that when you are ready to turn your horse out and actually turn them loose, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Phantom to walk through the gate. I'm going to have her turn and face me so that the hindquarters are pointing away from me. I'm then going to go ahead and unclip the halter and lead rope. I'm going to just pet her. I'm going to step away from her, and she is now free to do what she needs to do and walk away from me, and I am in a safe distance from her. Now, if I have a horse that is eager to get back out of the gate because they want to come back to the barn, yes, it happens, then I would clip and hook the gate just with one loop like that. And I'll show you how we do that part. So we're going to open the gate. I'm going to ask Phantom to wait. Okay, Phantom, come on through. We're going to turn around. We're going to walk back up through the gate. She's by my side here. I'm going to turn her so that her hindquarters are away. She's even with my shoulder here. I'm going to ask her one more time to walk up to the gate with me and stop. I'm going to get the gate. I'm going to just secure the gate with a loop here. I'm going to bring Phantom around. Make sure that her tail is away from me. Her eyes are on me. I would then unclip her, pat her, set her free, and come and unhook my gate. Now, when it's time for me to come get my horses, they know to come to me by this noise. My horses will be waiting by the gate. I would walk up to Phantom with her eyes facing me, flip the lead rope, ask her to walk forward with me, stop and stand. I would come unhook the gate, allow the gate to open. She should stand here and wait, not rush through until I tell her. When I'm ready to walk through, I'm going to go ahead and ask her to come forward, and we would continue back to the barn. So those are just some really good practices for when you're asking your horse to be turned out for their turnout time in their pasture. Once again, you should always have it very well managed, because when you turn out 15 horses like I do each day, and sometimes it's not me, sometimes I have a helper, I want to make sure my horses are polite, that they're not stepping on people, that they're not dragging anybody, that they're not trying to kick when they're going through the gate. All really good practices that you should make sure and instill. It's your responsibility to keep your horses safe for anybody that has to handle them. So I hope that helped. And once again, I'll put the links below of part 1, 2, and 3 of polite leading and handling. And this is just an extension of that exercise of how to ask your horse to politely walk through a turnout gate. So I hope you enjoyed this little version, and I thank Phantom for joining us today. And I'll see you all on the next one. Once again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and anybody who has any questions can feel free to email me at tarajones7@yahoo.com, or you can visit my website at tarajonestraining.com. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.